Doideira, viu, mano? Irada essa missão aqui, viu? Até o P, ó. E agora, a gente vai falar com o Vaevictis pra saber se ele sabia desse segredo dos terromorfos, né? Que eles se tornam... Que na verdade eles são os termossugas que com o poderzinho da planta ou com o tempo viram os terrormorfos. Que é isso, Sarah? E nós estamos aqui em Londínia. Vamos nessa, vamos pra UC, vamos pra Tamk, pra poder a gente perguntar pra ele, né? Se ele sabia e se ele falou pra alguém, ou se foi ele, talvez, né? Eu tô com 2 pontos aqui, deixa eu dar uma botada aqui. Astrofísica. Depois eu boto, vamos logo lá. Eu tô esperando dar uma upada, né? Alpha Centauri, vamos nessa. Ah, é aqui mesmo, né, velho? Eu esqueci que é justamente no outro sol de Alpha Centauri aqui. Jameson, vamos pra Jameson. Nova Atlântida. Supra et Ultra. Muito bom essa missão, hein? Massa.
Mind if we stop by the waterfall on this trip? I could use a few moments to unwind.
Nada de relaxar. Caraca, essa minha roupinha aqui da UC aqui tá irada, viu, velho? Gostei. Vamos falar com ele, hein, o desgramado. Ele tá vivo aqui embaixo dos nossos pés. O cara quase morreu, tá ligado? Distrito da Tamk.
Any troubles you need to share?
Vou pegar o elevadorzinho pra ir lá na... Eu não sei se a gente tem que falar com ele primeiro, acho que é. É, subseção 7.
Authorized personnel only. Your friend has to stay here.
Ah, meu chapa. É agora, hein?
Well, what a pleasant surprise.
Hora da verdade.
When I heard you and Hadrian were headed for Londinian of all places, I presumed you must be onto something big. Did you find what you were looking for?
Olha a cara dele. Não se faça de idiota. A gente sabe que você tá por trás dos ataques de Nova Atlântida. Não, não sei. Não sei. Tem alguma coisa que querem me contar sobre o que aconteceu em Londinian?
I haven't been to Londinian in many years. Why? Is there some way I could be of assistance? Were you able to recover what you were looking for?
Encontramos muito mais.
Good news then. So, what exactly are you doing here? Plenty still to be done in defeating the Terramorphs, no?
A gente encontrou uma gravação que você debatendo o uso do terromorfo como arma. E foi isso que tinha lá, né? Eu sei que você tá envolvido nos ataques. Pode parar, você assassinou os cidadãos da UC. Vou falar isso daqui, primeiro.
Did you? Well, I don't know what you think you heard on this recording, but I sincerely hope you didn't come to the wrong conclusions. After all, given the Cabinet's current state of anxiety, they might misinterpret such a discovery to mean I could have been involved with the attacks. Perhaps I can convince you to keep this among us.
Esse cara aí, ele é um assassino de guerra, né? Só que tá muito fácil saber que ele que tá por trás dos ataques. Então você não sabe nada sobre os ataques? É isso que você tá me afirmando?
Of course. Do I look like I'm in any position to do what you're describing? So I'd very much appreciate your agreement
tá
to
preso.
not share what you found. We wouldn't want anyone else jumping to conclusions now, would we?
Bem, eu não vou deixar de contar. Agora sim, ele tá preso, mas ele encontrou um monte de coisa aí que eu não tinha encontrado, então sei lá, né? Desculpa, mas vou contar pro gabinete da nossa descoberta. É a sua chance de se confessar.
You know you're far more clever than I expected. You want to hear the words, then? I did it. The Terramorph attacks on Tau Ceti. New Atlantis. My doing. Years of coordination between my associate and I. Figuring out how to deploy the Lazarus
É
plant's
sério?
pollen outside of Londinian. Learning to synthesize it. Use it as a weapon. Now, being as clever as you are, I'm sure you have thoughts on why I might do such a thing.
Estranho. Associado, o que você tá trabalhando?
All in due time. First, I want to see if you're truly as astute as you appear. So why would someone like me go through all this trouble?
Não tem jeito melhor, não tem jeito melhor de mostrar a arma mortal que é a planta Lázaro do que usá-la. Porque você é louco, assassino, esse aqui é. Esse aí eu sei. Para trabalhar por tanto tempo parece algo pessoal. Não, eu vou falar isso daqui, ó.
Not a bad thought. But no. The attacks were a correction. When I discovered the plant, I did consider handing over what I'd found. But we were at war. And I couldn't risk information that dangerous falling into the wrong hands. So I ordered the bombing of the Londinian spaceport. Fixing two problems at once. Halting the spread of the city's Terramorph outbreak, and sealing away knowledge of the plant's potential.
Você não confiava nem nas pessoas da UC? Pois é.
These were the final days of the colony war, Captain. The Freestar Collective had spies everywhere. I was concerned that if word got out, the Collective could swoop down, start breeding Lazarus plants, and overrun our worlds with waves of Terramorphs. Just like what was happening on Londinian at that very moment. Sealing off the city to prevent mass death? It was the only option that made sense at the time.
Por favor, nenhum segredo é tão perigoso que justifique condenar tantas
Easy to
vidas.
say now, but in that moment, I wasn't about to add another dangerous variable to an already catastrophic war. But then, as the war ended, my trial, my execution, I made a decision. After all, I'd given everything for the colonies. My life as I knew it included. And what did I get in return? Was there any effort by the UC to protect my legacy? My daughter's legacy? No. We were sacrificed when all we did was serve. So I kept what I'd learned and arranged the attacks to set things right again. My daughter, she becomes a hero. I become a trusted advisor, having found Kaiser, the research team, and cement
É
my
pela filha
new
dele,
position
velho.
of influence when I hand them the name of the person responsible for the attack on New Atlantis. The dear departed Dr. Reginald Orlays, the associate who aided me all these years, and whom I always slated to take the fall. What luck he was stopped dead before he could hurt anyone else. His decades on the run brought to an end by another unlikely hero. You.
Caraca, então ele tá fazendo todo esse plano pra poder ele honrar a ele mesmo e a filha, né? No caso. E entregar o amigo dele aí. Caraca, que loucura. Por que raios você liga pra se você te quer como conselheiro ou não? Como você pode coordenar tudo isso aqui dentro? Orlaze? Por que esse nome me soa familiar?
Can't remember the many lives you've taken. Orlays was the man whose death you brought about around the moon of Etheria. The pilot of the Warlock. The man I had to eliminate. To hide my secret.
Ué, Peraí. Caraca, então eu matei o cara da UC. Peraí. Eu tô viajando. Matei o cara lá da... Eu matei aquele cara, né? Quer dizer, ele se matou, na verdade. Mas ele sabia, então. Caraca. Então você assassinou os cidadãos da UC por causa da sua ofensa à sua honra? Você é doente.
There are no heroes without a villain. I simply arranged the opportunity for us to overcome one and become the other. And we all benefited. It's why I had Orlays reprogram Kaiser. Had that old machine guide you to where I found the plant all those years ago.
Ah, por isso que ele tava agindo estranho, velho. O Kaiser.
Great lengths to ensure your and Hadrian's success. And look at the results.
O cara planejou tudo, velho.
I know for a fact the cabinet's planning to honor both you and Hadrian once this is all done.
Esse cara tem que morrer, velho. Esse cara
Isn't
tá...
that preferable to languishing away in obscurity?
O cara é psicopata.
Running jobs on the tail end of nowhere for the Vanguard? With only the vague hopes of perhaps earning the right to buy a home in the well someday.
Caraca, o cara fez tudo por trás dos panos, velho. Como é que pode preso ainda? Creio que teve alguns benefícios disso tudo. Que tipo de homenagem seria essa? Se tá esperando eu agradecer, vai ficar esperando pra sempre. Eles me homenagearam... Peraí. Eles me homenageariam por limpar suas merdas. Oh my god.
You're being honored only because I arranged the situations where it could happen. Be grateful.
Eu vou falar tudo isso daí
And
pros
let's
caras,
not
velho.
forget the importance of our actual endgame. Eliminating the Terramorphs. Securing knowledge of the Lazarus plant. What we've set in motion is going to protect thousands, maybe millions of lives. I'm simply requesting one more life be protected. Mine. I've already sent along the evidence of Orlays' role in the attacks to the cabinet, leaving out my own involvement. All I ask is that you confirm as much to the cabinet.
Huh.
Tell them that it was Orlays and Orlays alone. After all, I do still have a long list of threats to the UC. This needn't be the end of our good works together.
Acha que eu vou simplesmente esquecer o fato que você matou pessoas para realizar suas boas ações?
And how many have you killed to get where you are now?
Ah.
There are no great works that don't cost lives, Captain. Whether it's winning a war or digging a tram tunnel. So we sacrificed a few dozen in the attacks to possibly protect millions. That seems like a fair exchange to me. I only hope you'll see the same and leave my name out of the discussions to come.
Espero que você goste que eu vou falar tudo pra eles.
That is a pity, Captain. But I'm in no position to negotiate. Though we needn't be enemies, you and I. Just think about the opportunity I've provided here. There are more on the horizon. If you do the right thing.
Né? Tá só me manipulando esse cara aí, querendo manipular. Vou falar com a Hadrian e com o Percival. E eu vou contar tudo pra eles. Caraca, eu fico louco com isso aqui. Vai pra cá.
Authorized personnel only.
I'm here for you, Nana. See you soon, love.
Pessoa amável, né? Eu sempre me perco aqui. É pra cá. Que loucura, velho. Essa missão aqui, hein? Gostei. Tá muito louca. Vamos lá falar com a Câmara dos Deputados ali.
I have something for you when you have a moment.
Ah, Colônias Unidas da UC. Cheguei, hein?
Perfect timing. We just got in. So on our end, good news. The microbe and the Aciles are both as effective against heat leeches as they are against terramorphs.
Boa.
Means either plan should work for clearing those critters off our worlds.
Considering what the Lazarus plant is capable of, I don't think we can deal with those things fast enough. I already sent along info to the cabinet to get them up to speed. So what about your end? Did you find anything? Did my father tell you what he knew about the Lazarus plant?
É, eu vou falar. Vou falar tudo. Eu vou falar. Vai Victus confessou. Organizou os ataques da cela dele.
I knew it. The second I heard that recording, I knew. Why? Did he say why he did it?
Não vale a pena recontar, o cara é doente. Ele disse que queria consertar o dano causado ao nome Shannon. Queria que ele e você fossem heróis. Ela vai ficar puta com isso.
It takes some deeply twisted logic to think anything did more harm to the Sanan name than him.
So you're telling us that the attack on New Atlantis was Vae Victus's responsibility? Just like the dooming of Londinian? That's insane. All that just to help restore the family name? How did he ever think that was going to work?
Well, once we inform the cabinet, they can ensure he won't be able to do anything like this ever again.
Eu vou falar que ele pediu pra não falar, né?
I'm sure he did. But he killed dozens of people. And I'm not about to let him get away with something like that. So I guess that gives us our final answer. Nothing left to do but head in and see what the cabinet thinks of it all. Unless there was more to discuss. This might be our last opportunity to talk things through before the cabinet weighs in on a decision regarding the Terramorphs.
Que riscos existem caso a gente decida recuperar os Aceles? O que você acha do gabinete vai fazer quando souber que vai Victus se envolver nos ataques?
It's hard to know. Unlike my father, the cabinet aren't butchers. But killing UC citizens, along with everything else he's done, is unforgivable. But if you're really that concerned, you could request they be lenient. They might be willing to spare him.
Deixa eu perguntar isso daqui também.
Asylees aren't hostile to humans, but they are megafauna. If someone decides to pick a fight with one, it could get ugly. But they've already been spread far and wide once before when the UC was raising them as livestock, so the risk of introducing them to new worlds is minimal. Using them to clean up the Terramorphs and leeches, though, it's not going to be nearly as expedient as the microbe would be. Given what we know now about the Lazarus plant, the speed of the job does matter. But going with the Asylees, we're at least dealing with known risks.
Tá. Deixa eu perguntar isso aqui também.
They are.
Microbe needed minimal adjustment to account for heat leech anatomy.
And the Asylees seem like they're even better at tracking leeches than morphs.
Hell of a sight to watch, though, when they catch them. Like an open airlock guzzling angry spaghetti.
Por mim, tudo bem. Terminamos. Vamos entrar.
And here we go.
Vamos lá. Legado forjado. Provavelmente nossa última missão da UC. Que tá sendo bem legal finalizar essa sequência de missões aqui. Da União das Colônias. Vamos lá. Vou dar um save aqui.
Okay. Hello.
E aí, maluco? Cheguei.
Welcome back, all of you. I wish we were meeting under better circumstances. But according to Hadrian's report and the second one I just received, it seems the Terramorph attack on New Atlantis was no random occurrence, but a planned strike. Is what I'm reading here true?
Correto, senhora. Foi ataque deliberado.
My God.
An attack? Using Terramorphs? How is that possible?
You will all receive a full briefing once we're done here. So then, is what the second report claims correct? Did Reginald Orlais commit these attacks, Captain?
Orlais?
Esse relatório não conta toda a verdade. Orlais ajudou, mas Vae Victus organizou os ataques. Só um instante, preciso verificar uma coisa. Do nada, né? Não. É isso.
It's true, ma'am. I heard the recording myself. My father figured out how to use terramorphs as weapons.
He did what?
That's impossible. He doesn't have the kind of access to...
Clearly, he made his own access, Chief Sarkin. Madam President, I have been saying for years that not dealing with that man was gonna end in tragedy.
Enough! I hope everyone here understands that what has just been shared is a state secret of the highest order. This information does not leave this room. Now, that's quite the accusation you're leveling, considering Francois Sinon has not left containment for the better part of 2 decades. You have evidence to back this up?
Tenho. Vou ter que falar, né? Botar aqui.
It just transformed. A terramorph out of thin air. An invisible weapon. No planet would be safe.
Heavens help us. Is that actually him?
I'd know that voice anywhere. That's Francois.
He knew they could do this, and said nothing.
He's a sociopath. Plain and simple, ma'am.
Officer, please collect that recording.
Yes, ma'am. Begging your pardon, Captain.
We'll, of course, be launching a full investigation into how this could have happened. Though I have little doubt the Admiral will be quick to share all he knows on the subject once confronted with that recording. Chief Yassine, can you send one of your interrogators to have a little chat with the Admiral?
I'll issue the order immediately.
Good. Combined with everything else you all have uncovered. Well, I don't think the United Colonies can thank you enough. We failed the people of the colonies by not dealing with Vayvictis sooner. I intend to rectify that mistake immediately.
Eu acho que o pessoal não vai gostar disso não, mas talvez ele tenha uma sua utilidade. O que vai acontecer com ele?
That will be up to the cabinet to decide. But I don't appreciate our mercy being taken advantage of.
Eu peço que a vida dele seja poupada, afinal ele nos ajudou contra os terramorfos.
I'm not sure I see why someone with UC blood on their hands would merit leniency. But I will note your request when the decision is made. Now, with our villain unmasked, we can attend to the other matters at hand. With the threads you've brought together here, the Lazarus plant, the attacks, the heat leeches, the 3 of you have likely spared thousands of lives. But it now falls to the cabinet to ensure this can never happen again. As such, the cabinet will be securing the Lazarus plant on Londinian. All materials related to the plant will be classified to ensure no one else learns its true nature.
A sound decision, Madam President.
Beleza. Proteger a planta não é suficiente, ela deve ser extinta. Quais os tipos de medidas que a UC adotará para proteger a planta de Lázaro?
Well, luckily the natural hostility of Londinian makes keeping out trespassers relatively easy. But we'll ensure its growth is contained, that access to the plant is only permitted via highly regulated clearances, and that our troop presence on Londinian is increased.
Acredito que outras facções devem participar da proteção da planta Lázaro.
Tell the Freestar Collective. Wow. So they have another tool to utilize against us?
I'm in agreement. I fail to see the value here.
Para demonstrar à Confederação que a UC não planeja usar isso em segredo no futuro.
Indeed. Open relations at this point would be critical towards
Eles não estão mais em guerra, né?
Oh, that is an interesting idea. A grand gesture to further display this cabinet doesn't think like those of the past.
The observers on Mars have proven such a gesture can bear fruit.
So, you want us to make nice with the Collective by sharing our state secrets?
No, I want us to display plainly the UC's actual intentions, that the plant will never be used as a weapon again.
That does sound worthwhile, Chief Kulkarni. Very well. We'll get the Collective involved in the management. Thank you for the suggestion, Captain. So then, to our final topic. The Cabinet has agreed to implement a plan that will deal with the Terramorph, and now also Heat Leech presence on human worlds. In fact, we've already begun enacting measures to check all UC ports and settlements for undiscovered nests. But we all understand this is only a partial solution. The project we're embarking on will be a long and difficult one. So our first step must be deciding how exactly this all will be handled.
Madam President, this microbe is clearly too much of a risk. The Aseles are the safer approach.
To someone with limited knowledge of biology, perhaps. The technology behind the microbe
decidir
is
agora como é que vai
solved
ser
science,
feito isso
Madam
daí.
President. It isn't dangerous. Using it to wipe out the Terramorphs would be the quickest path to protecting humanity.
And fast results always lead to the best outcomes, don't they?
As you can see, there remains debate among the Cabinet. We were hoping your group might issue a recommendation. Major?
We've had a few discussions, but our group is similarly split. Only the captain has yet to weigh in.
I see.
Sempre eu, né?
Captain, I know this may not be your area of expertise, but we'd like to know your take on the matter.
E aí, Aseles ou micróbio? Só que o micróbio, ele pode dar merda. E o Aseles é mais seguro, só demora mais. O micróbio é mais rápido. Mas o Aseles também pode contaminar o meio da fauna. Porém, os humanos já tomam conta dos Aseles porque eles já usaram ele como gado, né? Pra comer. Então, eu acho que não tem problema usar os Aseles. Eu achei os Aseles mais interessantes do que você criar um micróbio. Acho que pode ser uma parada mais pesada, mais
Gather your thoughts and let's continue.
Tô pensando, ofensiva, né? E o Aseles é uma forma de resolver um problema de fauna com outra fauna, né? Que não tem tanto problema assim. E vai equilibrar o ecossistema. Na minha opinião, é a melhor opção. Vou escolher os Aseles.
I'm in full agreement. No need be delving into unpredictable sciences.
Here's hoping they'll be kept on a short leash.
That, madam,
Yeah,
is
Sarah
most
não gosta disso,
certainly
não sei
the
porquê.
plan.
Order, please. And Major Sinan? Dr. Walker, you'd find this acceptable?
We trust the captain's judgment.
Then the matter is settled. We'll begin the process immediately. Today marks day one for the United Colonies Terramorph Management Division, making you three the founding members of the TMD. As befits such a group,
Doideira.
the Cabinet wanted to display its gratitude. Today, we will be adding 3 new Class 1 citizens to our ranks.
Class 1? For the 3 of us? Are you joking?
What he means to say is, thank
Classe
you,
1?
ma'am.
Como assim?
Oh, yeah. Thank you, ma'am.
Agradeço, senhora presidente. O que é um civil de primeira classe?
It's a status reserved only for those who've dedicated their lives to the United Colonies, or done great things for its cause. Class 1s enjoy an ample credit disbursement, an additional reduction on the cost of colonial goods. And I'm told the penthouse is rather impressive.
É isso aí.
You all have earned it. Now, there's much to be done. Major Sinan, Dr. Walker, I hope you two are willing to continue your efforts spearheading the TMD's research on Mars.
We'd be honored, ma'am.
As for you, Captain, the Vanguard will be providing much of the on-the-ground support for the TMD. As a member of both the Vanguard and the TMD, I believe you'll have your pick of duties.
Beleza.
Speak to your commander, Tuala, if I recall correctly. He should be able to provide you with assignments going forward, plus help you collect the benefits that come with being named Class 1. On behalf of the whole of the United Colonies, you have our sincerest gratitude. This meeting is adjourned.
E é isso aí. Doideira, né? Virei cidadão de primeira classe. Legado forjado terminado.
By the way, Captain, Sergeant Yumi was looking for you. Sounds like he's got more work.
Sargento Yami.
Galaxy's going to be
Yami.
a safer place once we're done with it. Just wait.
Tem que falar com o comandante Tuala, né? Eu acho que isso daqui encerra nossas missões da UC, cara. É isso mesmo. Doideira, viu? Deixa eu ir lá. Não quero estação de NAT, eu quero falar com o comandante Tuala. Vamos falar com ele pra ver o que, é que ele vai falar. Eu desci total, mano. Pera aí. Comandante Tuala. Tuala Zona. Cadê ele? É pra cá? Não, pra cá.
Informed us of your new status. Congratulations on making Class 1.
Obrigado, hein? E aí, comandante Tuala?
Well, I've got to say, this is a first. I've never had a Class 1 citizen in my ranks before. Congratulations, Captain.
Agradeço, comandante. É uma honra.
No need to thank me. You brought this all on yourself. I've already gone ahead and processed your Class 1 benefits. All UC goods and services should now have a thanks for protecting the colonies discount.
Huh.
And the credits should be in your accounts now.
Oh.
But to get into your penthouse, you'll have to pay a visit to the Aphelion Realty office. They should be able to grant you access.
Ah, vou ganhar uma casa. Ganhei 12 mil conto. Isso é muito generoso.
Higher-ups wanted to make sure you know how much they appreciate what you've done. But with all that squared, it's time to get you a new assignment.
Oh, outra missão.
There are your standard Vanguard missions, putting those pilot skills to use defending UC space. Or you could help the TMD in cleaning up terramorphs. Oh, and I got a request from Dr. Walker. Wanted your help collecting biological samples to keep an eye out for any, new alien threats on the horizon. Any of those missions call to you?
Beleza. Fazer missão agora? Bem, eu vou dar uma folga aqui pra gente seguir com outras missões.
You've earned some R&R. Once you're rested up and ready to head out there again, you come see me.
Beleza. Eu não vou fazer missão agora porque eu tenho que terminar essas aqui ainda. Depois, quando eu vim aqui para atividades, tem que falar com o Percival e eu vou continuar missões que tem que fazer. Tem muita atividade aqui. Acho que cada atividade dessa leva a uma missão. E terminamos aqui, né, meus amigos, as missões da UC, da União das Colônias, a linha de quest da União das Colônias. E eu vou pegar minha casa, né, aqui, porque eu quero fazer isso agora pra ver como é que é. E depois eu vou seguir pra esse Ryujin Industries de volta ao trabalho, que eu não sei o que é, mas eu sei que lá é Neon, eu acho. E depois mas antes eu vou fazer uma luz na escuridão, que eu não sei o que é. Mas vamos primeiro encontrar aqui o imobiliário pra gente pegar meu apartamento aqui. Eu tô curioso, hein? Quero meu apartamento.